And good morning, everyone out there. Whether you're listening on air, on the radio, or you're watching us live on Facebook or YouTube, good morning. Today is Wednesday, August the 31st. And my name is Khalila Hart, and I'm your host for today. Give a shout out to Mr. Kato Wonder for letting me ride solo again. And today, my special guest is Dr. Pat Moss and Dr. Larry Morton. They are both of Arkansas State University. They are professors, did I get that right? In the social work department. And I will let them tell you all more about them and what positions they hold and the different things that they're working on. So we'll start with Dr. Pat.
Okay, my name is Dr.
I'm sorry, can you get closer to the mic?
My name is Dr. Patricia. I'm a native of Forest, Arkansas. I came to Arkansas State University in 1979 as a student.
Okay.
I received my undergraduate degree from the sociology department. At that time, Arkansas State University didn't have an accredited social work program, but they were working and making that happen. Later, many years after that, after being married and having 4 children, I came back to school to get my master's in social work. That degree was a pilot program through the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. But we were unique in that we were able to take our classes on the campus of Arkansas State University. After that, I worked as an instructor in the social work department. And during that time, I decided that teaching was my calling. So I went back to school and I pursued my PhD, and that came from Jackson State University in Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you. Excuse me. All right, Dr. Larry, can you tell us about yourself?
Sure. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and I got my degrees in St. Louis. I got my PhD from Washington University. I worked many years in the field before getting my PhD, and that work included having a nonprofit agency for homeless people with developmental disabilities. And I've been in Arkansas State now for 4 years, and the MS director and also the co-chair along with Dr.
Okay. Well, thank you all so much for telling us a little bit more about yourself. Can you tell us from your experience, how has the social work department changed over the years? That once you were a student, Dr. Pat, and then now that you're an instructor, what changes have you seen in the social work department?
Well, I had the privilege of seeing the department evolve to the point where we are now, which is significantly different. And I first came on board as an instructor and now as an associate professor. A major change occurred. We used to be housed in the sociology department. And by that time, we were in the International Student Building.
Okay.
Some years later, we moved to the College of Nursing and Profession, and I think that was a really good fit. We went from having just a undergraduate program to now having both the BSW program and the MSW program. Naturally, once we decided to go for the MSW program, there was an increase in faculty, and being in the College of Nursing and Health profession, it allowed for more collaboration with people that were kind of interested in some of the same topics.
Okay. Most people, when they hear social work, they think you're in the field, you're going to people's homes, or you're doing some type of therapy counseling. things of that nature. Can you maybe break down or give us some more, um, give us a little bit more about what social work really covers? That's probably pretty intense. It's probably a lot, but
Social work is a very broad profession, and when students come to our department, we have this little thing that's called a career map. I hate I didn't bring it. Because a lot of time when people think of social work, they do think in those narrow terms in which you say it. And that is what we do. We become very, very good clinicians.
okay.
But we also work in our welfare, where we work to try to keep children safe. We're in the criminal justice system, so you can have criminal social work that specialize in forensic. We're everywhere. We're in hospitals, we're in rehab centers, we're in schools.
Okay.
And a large part of what we do that a lot of time people are unaware, we do tremendous work in reference to advocacy work. I mean, we have two social workers that are extraordinary congressmen that just wrote some really significant legislation.
Okay. And that's much needed because you need someone that knows the field and is looking out for the people, and they know what needs to be incorporated into those different laws, legislation, and whatnot. So it's definitely good to have someone with a social work background in Washington that can help fight for the, I hate to say little people, but the people that may feel like they have no voice. So thank you so much. And Dr. Larry, we're going to get into a little bit about the ASTATE Care program. This is a program I've heard of several years ago. It used to have an office space over on Marshall Street. I haven't seen it there lately, but please tell us about the program, how it got started, any other important information concerning that.
Okay. Well, it got started in 2012, and it was, who was it started? Brad Holloway was
Dr. George Jacinto, who's no longer with us, and Dr. Barbara Turnage, were people that was involved in the original vision for ASU Care, and Dr. Brad Holloway.
Okay.
And they wanted to help the people of North Jonesboro primarily with things like resource referrals, and they started a food shelter, food pantry.
Okay.
And they also had community assessments where they found out what the community was actually wanting.
Okay.
Instead of just guessing what they wanted, they actually went out and talked to the people of the community and found out what were the things they were needing and wanting and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And they had focus groups. They loved to do the community assessments. They've had focus groups. They've also had community groups for things like nutrition and exercise and that sort of thing.
Okay. So, do you have a formal space that you operate out of as of right now?
Yes, we do. It's at 911 Morgan Street.
Okay. And what is that near, or what, I'm not familiar with that name.
If you take Johnson to St. Patrick Street,
Okay.
and if you take St. Patrick about 2 miles on your left, you'll see the church, another building.
Okay. So you're located in a church?
Yes.
Okay. Is it Magnolia Road Baptist Church?
Yes.
Okay. So Magnolia Road Baptist Church is really helpful for the community. They let a lot of different organizations use their facility to operate out of, and that's really great. So what are some things that you have going on right now with the ASTATE Care program?
Well, right now we have, we just started, well, I should say Brad Holloway is one of the founders of this. He left in May.
Okay.
So it's been sort of restarting it.
Okay.
And one of the things they had going on was working real well was the tutoring.
Okay.
And we've gotten that back up and going, and actually we have a lot of students that are needing the tutoring. We're actually needing volunteers to kind of help with that.
And actually, I got an email. I don't know if it's from one of your students. They sent an email. They tried to get a date on what's going on. It was by chance one day this guy knocked on my door passing out flyers. We're hosting your ice cream show. And I was like, okay, well, I work for the radio station. I can help get the announcement on air since it's a community service thing. And so just kind of click, like, okay. So I shared my email with him, and he started sending me other things. I was trying to put up the flyer for the tutoring program so people can have more information about that. Okay. Now, even though you said you need volunteers, is this something that social work students participate in as part of class, either credit or just strictly volunteer?
They can participate as part of field, for instance, their field practice internship. We don't this semester have any students that are working through the field practicum. We can try to get volunteers through our current student base.
Okay. Are you familiar with the City of Jonesboro has a program called AmeriCorps Vista, and what they have done is created I keep saying website. It's a database where different agencies go in and plug in your information, what services you provide, and you're looking for volunteers. That way, volunteers can go to the website and search for the agency they feel like they connect with, and they can sign, to volunteer for your program. So maybe check that out and see if that would be an option for you.
Yeah, Brad Holloway did that.
Oh, okay.
Before. That's a good idea.
We had AmeriCorps students, workers at ASU Care at one time, but we were located on Commercial. But any time that we can sue to get volunteers, we're going to be seeking that out.
Yeah. Okay, dedicated volunteer, anything that she's asked to do, she goes in full force. And I'm sure you need people like that in the social department as well. I put up the flyer for the ASTATE Care tutoring, and it started August 23rd, and it goes through December 6th. It is Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 5 p.m. It's under the social work department, or the ASTATE Care program, or anything else going on at Arkansas State University that they may be able to answer. I did want you all to go into, we'll have a few minutes before our next break, and I don't want to run out of time, but for someone that's considering a career in social work, do you sit down with the students or new advisees? Do you go through, I know you said you have a career map. Do you go into full detail, okay, this is what you're looking at with the social work program. Are you sure this is what you really want to do? You let them make the decision, okay, after going through the assessment, are you sure this is still what you want to do? Because once you're into studying a degree, studying for a particular degree, yes, you can change your major, but it's kind of a hassle to change your major when you invested 2.5 or plus years into it. When we come back from break, I want you to go into what advice you would give someone considering social work. They really have to expect just what that career choice entails. And we still have a minute or so left. I want to ask Dr. Larry, you said you did some field work. Do you ever have a longing maybe to do some field work again?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah. I did just a couple years ago. I did a study back in St. Louis with homeless people with developmental disabilities, and looked at trauma and that sort of thing, and it really invigorated me. Gets me better set to go in the classroom because I can talk about my experiences and that sort of thing. But I was always, when I was working in the field, I was always in the field. It wasn't like the people were coming to me and I had to about to the places that other people didn't necessarily like to go.
Okay.
I enjoyed that, and so I just really found it nice to be able to help people that wouldn't get help otherwise.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to follow up with more about the social work department. So please stay tuned. And if you have any questions or comments, please call us 870-277-1080. Okay. The microphones are off, but the camera's still rolling. Get there. They're home again.
No, I didn't hear the monitor, so.
You can't hear from in there.
Well, no, I'm saying when you turn the mic off, I hear the monitor. Y'all have the monitor up just a little bit. That way, if you turn the mic, that way when you turn the mic off, you hear music, you know that the mic's off.
Okay.
You silence and you think the mic is off. No, the mic is still on. Okay, I need you to write down your number.
My awesome.
Say it for the text. Yes, ma'am. Sounding good so far. Appreciate you all for coming by.
Oh, you wanted our cell number?
Well, I think I got yours because when I put it in the system, it went through.
Oh, okay.
That 972 number that went right.
Now that was
Okay,
my office.
What is it?
314.
Well, just write down. Say it on the webcam and give it out.
Okay. We don't want just any and everybody calling you.
I appreciate it.
Alright,
thank
Speaking of that, do you ever give students your students that you could you feel like they just need a little extra something?
And this is why, and we'll get into that when we talk about social work. Social work, anytime we do social work as a profession, it's a different beast than a lot of other degrees. We really have to watch confidentiality. We have a very strong code of ethics, and so you have to not really lie. And one of the things that we really try to teach in the classroom is how to empower rather than enable.
Okay.
Gotcha.
You know,
Is the coffee okay?
coffee is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
And so-
hope that made it sweet enough and
Yeah.
creamed enough.
I probably had a little cream, but I'm okay.
I can
But
bring
no, I'm good. But when you say, do I ever give students my cell phone number, there is a rare occasion, and that's because
you ready to go back?
I'm sorry.
that's a
All right, well, back to community connections. I am respect for Bila Hardin with special guest Dr. Patricia Walls and Dr. Larry Morton of the University from the social work department. Thank you all so much. We have been having a great conversation thus far, and I want them to get a little bit more into the social work department, what it entails, what advice you would give students considering going into this field.
we have what we call a pre-major advisor,
Okay.
and their job is to sit down with students who think that they want to come into social work, and they walk them through the process of getting the degree.
Okay.
The social work degree is a little bit different than other degrees in that our coursework is lockstep.
Okay.
That means that from the time that they get accepted into our program, it will take them 2 years to finish.
Okay.
And there's no way to speed that process up because the core classes are offered only once a year. And all of our students have to complete 2 field placements. And those placements, we really get an opportunity to see how they really cut out for social work.
Okay.
Because they are placed in an agency where they have to work and just like it was a job, you have a supervisor, you have a faculty liaison that monitors that work.
Okay.
And so that's a significant part of your preparation in becoming a social worker.
Okay.
Field placement, we look at, have you really gotten everything that we have tried to give in the classroom? And when you get in the field, it's about putting all of that classroom knowledge to work in those field places.
Okay. Have you ran into many students that have gotten into the social work program? They think this is still what they want to do. You, as a professor, are noticing, I'm not seeing it click with them. I don't think they're really getting it. They may be making A's and B's on their coursework, but are they really connecting to the program?
There are those occasions. Again, we monitor students in the classroom, we monitor students outside of the classroom in field. And if there is something that we notice, then we bring students in for a conference.
Okay.
We have a very detailed student handbook
Okay.
and stuff.
Okay. I know at one point when I was back in school, in 2002, I started sociology and I thought I wanted to get into social work. Unfortunately, like you said, the way your program is set up, you have to apply and there are certain classes offered at certain times. Unfortunately, I wasn't eligible because I didn't have, one, I had completed all of my basic classes by the time frame I needed to get into the program, and my GPA wasn't quite where it needed to be. Some people think, oh, I can slide through school with a certain GPA. No, it doesn't work like that. With the social work department, I know you have a strict policy on you have to have a certain GPA also to get into the program.
Not only do you have to have a GPA, back application, it does not necessarily mean that you get into the program. We look at a number of things. We're looking at letters of recommendation. We're looking at how that student performed in what we call our gatekeeping class, which is intro to social work. You have to have a letter of recommendation from that professor. And so, again, we're looking at everything. In most years, we have 4 more applications than we have slots. You have to pass the background check.
Oh, okay.
So there are pieces that goes into being accepted into the work program.
So I guess one piece of advice would be to say to someone that's considering going to college, considering social work department, you need to keep your background clean, or else you're going to set yourself up for failure and not have even the opportunity to get into that field. I think that's really, it's really wonderful. It is. It's making people be accountable for their actions and their behavior. Because what you do in your younger life, it really will affect your adult life.
Absolutely.
Dr. Larry and Dr. Pat, we were talking a little bit earlier off air about, giving students your personal cell and things of that nature. And Dr. Walsh was going into, what you try to instill students through the program. So can you please continue that so our listeners and viewers can hear what you were telling me?
Well, I don't give my personal phone number to students. I don't brand social media. I don't do that sort of thing. I feel like I'm there as their professor and as a resource to help them in their career, hopefully once they graduate from the master's program. But I don't feel like I'm there to be their friend or a person that they should be socializing with. I think they need to be doing that on their own.
Okay.
And I co-sign on what Dr. Morton is saying. Social work is about teaching students or empowering students rather than enabling them. And that's not to say that we're not available for students.
Okay.
We have office hours that are posted on our doors, that are posted on our course outline, and we encourage students to come in if there's an issue if there's a problem that they need to discuss, and we provide, advice during our advising session.
Okay. I want to get a little into, you spoke about it earlier, the different places that social workers are placed, like hospitals or in the criminology department. So can you please maybe explain a little bit what their roles are in those different arenas, just like a hospital setting?
Okay, hospital setting, there are social workers that are placed in the hospital. And our students work under the supervision of the director of that social services component in those facilities. But they also are still working very closely with a faculty person who is their field liaison.
Okay.
And their roles depends on missions and the goals of that department. Let's say in medical social work, many years ago, and one of the roles that I was involved in is that I met with family members of patients and I assisted them in their discharge planning, whatever services that they needed. We tried to connect them with those services because, again, one of the things that we do as social workers, like you said earlier, we become the voice and we advocate for services that a patient or a client may need. So that social worker would be probably speaking with that doctor to try to figure out what equipment that patient may need and trying to align them with the services once they are discharged from that facility.
Okay. And then in the criminal justice system, what role do social workers play?
So they play a lot of roles. They
Apologize.
play usually when you're dealing with someone in the criminal justice system, you do an assessment of them to see what their needs are and what kind of problems that they're having. And you try to play sort of a mediator role to see that they get the services they need to hopefully get out of the criminal justice system.
Okay.
And if they're not getting out of the criminal justice system, prepare them for that.
Okay.
I worked with juveniles when I was doing my first practicum as an MSW student, and sometimes they're not going to get out of they're not going to get out of this.
Okay.
They're going to go to jail or something. You prepare them for that and that sort of thing.
And then earlier you mentioned, okay, you work with the master's program. Would you encourage students to go for their master's right out of getting their bachelor's, or have you known students to maybe take a little break? Is that okay? I need to see if this is what I really want to continue in, or what? Any advice or any stories you have to tell, or things you have to share concerning that?
I think it just depends on the student.
Okay.
And we try to, the advisor, all students are assigned advisors, and sometimes that advisor will have a little bit more insight than another faculty member because they have spent more time with that student. What we really try to do is when students are coming from our BSW program and entering into our master's program, just trying to make them aware of the difference in the two and the rigor of the master's program. In particular, if you decide to do the advanced standing program that is in 1 year.
Oh my goodness.
So my message to my students, my undergraduate students, when they say to me, well, yeah, Dr. Walls, I'm gonna apply for the master's program and I think I'm gonna do the advanced standing program. So even though I tell them that it is their decision, I caution them that you want to think very seriously if you're going to try to work full-time and do the advanced standing program.
Wow.
Because that's a lot. It's called advanced standing for a reason. So, but it's we always, go by the code of ethics. You have the right to self-determine
Okay.
what you decide that you want to do.
Okay.
But we advise students not to overload themselves if they're in advanced standing, which is just for students that have a bachelor's in social work. If you're coming in for a degree from somewhere else, you have to go into the 2-year program. But
Okay.
we advise them not to overload themselves. If they are going to work full time, then they should think about going to school part time.
Okay.
Because what ends up happening is they usually have to anyway.
You get burnt out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a good thing that Morton really does well with the students. If a student start out in the advanced standing program and they think that they really got it all together, and then they figure out that they don't have it together, then they can drop back
Okay.
to the part-time program.
Okay.
So that's good.
Okay. I wanted to ask about, I know before you get your license as a social worker, to become a licensed social worker, okay, there's this big test. I've known some people that have taken it probably more times than they care to take the test. Do you, during the course of their bachelor's and master's, try to really prepare them for the test, or is that something you can't prepare for?
You can prepare for it. We try very hard to prepare students for the licensure exam,
Okay.
but it's something very different this year.
Okay.
And we're hoping that that's going to help students success rate on the licensure exam. We brought in a very renowned person, Dr. Sophia Gingillespie. And most of the study material that you get to prepare for that exam is written by her.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So she came in and she did a 2-day workshop for some of the faculty and some of our students.
Okay.
And so what we are going to try to do, the rationale in bringing her in was to train faculties so that we can offer those prep classes ourselves.
Okay.
So we will begin to do that probably next year and making study material available to students when they go through that course. Taking that exam is about a mindset. You gotta learn how to take it. It's a 4-hour exam. It's loaded with content, but you gotta learn how to take the exam.
Okay. Wow. Okay, I had another question. Oh, someone who gets into the program, they finish their bachelor's, they finish their master's, they decide to take the exam. Does not have license limit them the types of jobs they can get?
Yes.
Okay.
It does. They can't get into any therapy jobs.
No therapy. Okay.
Anything like that. They may be able to get some community jobs
Okay.
doing like social justice type things. But even that, I think that they would have a better chance if they had a license. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Having that license is going to determine significantly your level of pay as well.
Okay.
You can't really call yourself a social worker
Oh, okay.
without having
The license.
the license.
Okay.
And so that's important.
Okay. So it's best if you're gonna go through this, go all the way through, like, no half stepping, no second guessing, like either you're in it or you're not, in order to get where you want to be career wise and really advance in your career. I do have another question concerning someone gets their license in social work. Can they decide I want to go back and get a license, study to get a license in counseling or another level of therapy, or do they simply do a certification course, or how does it?
You can be licensed in a field. Like, I couldn't decide that I wanted to go take the license for a licensed counselor because I haven't had that curriculum.
Okay.
So, to my with marriage and stuff, I think maybe you can, but I'm not sure, so I can't speak on
You
that.
have to go back to school and get the
So
curriculum.
take some more courses and then
Right.
go through the process over again. Okay. I know. I'm sorry for coming around. I'm going to go back into the ASTATE Care program some more. Do you have any other upcoming events besides the tutoring program?
Well, right now we're concentrated a lot on getting the food pantry up and going.
Okay.
So that hopefully will be ready to go within the next month.
Okay.
After that, we plan to do another community sort of community something, maybe a picnic or something like that, to get the people together. And of course, we'd let you all know. So
I appreciate that. We can make sure you get the community come and get it on air so people can hear it. Who is responsible for picking out the programs or coming up with the ideas for the projects that ASTATE Care hosts? Do the students come up with them, or do you?
both.
Okay.
Brad Holloway, our predecessor to this, came up with a lot of the program, but first the tutoring came about by BSW practicum student started that, and it fell off after he left, and we're just getting it back started, but it's going pretty strong. So.
Okay. And so for your volunteers, do you have any recommendations as far as their educational background, or you just take anyone?
Well, we can take them in and see where their talents lie.
Okay.
For instance, mine's in math, so I go up there, I can help with the math part of it.
Okay.
And Frederick seems to be just doing everything. So.
Okay. So if there's anyone out there that's listening or watching, if you are considering doing some volunteer work, here's another agency that can really use your help. It's ASTATE Care, and they're located in the Magnolia Road Baptist Church building, which is 911 Magnolia Road. Do you have anyone that's in an office space at any set times?
Frederick's in the office from 3 to 5 on Tuesday and Thursday, and then most of the day on Friday.
Okay, we're going to get ready for a break. When we come back, we'll follow up with some more information on how you can get involved with the ASTATE Care and any other activities that they are hosting. So please join us back on Community Conversations.
It's going to be on Fridays from 1 to 3, correct?
Right.
Yeah, when we get it up and going.
Fridays from 1 to 3. And then we'll talk about how people, like when they come, what type of identification or what, do they need to bring anything or with them?
I think we voted that.
Okay.
We don't want it to be anyways.
Okay. Because there are some places that want you to bring either the social security cards or
I think social security number should be guarded with your life now. So, because that's one of the main ways that people we want to do the food pantry, and we want to provide it to people that need it. If you come here and you say that you need food, we're going to trust you with your word.
We're trying to build up rapport with the community out there, so with the less sort of bureaucratic stuff that we have to go through the fire.
We might have to get some basic data to talk about for us, sex and age, and just so that we can kind of get a feel for
your demographic.
Yeah.
maybe who you serve the most. Okay. And when you have a student that's in the program, kind of work on
Yeah, it's gonna gather the data. We're gonna try to take the data and see what, as part of a need assessment or as providers, that service. Some of the things that we've done in the past were for us with ASTATE Care, for as doing collaboration with the social work department, is hosting community events. You know, Brad, last year, he partnered, we partnered when I was teaching practice 3, then hosting a community event. And we did it when it was on Marshall as well as providing some services for the residents in the area. And the community itself really kind of jumped in there. Like last year, we had all types of vendors. It wasn't marketed, but it was a great event.
Any questions that you I don't want to feel like I'm being redundant, but I want people to just get, well, this is not a field to go into.
Well, you can ask them if they want to. I don't even know if they can, but maybe if they have any stories they may want to share.
Do you ever have students, previous students, say they're now like grown, and they ever come back and say, thank you for what you did, or they share what they're doing now?
Yeah.
Okay. We have a lot of that, and that's always, that's always refreshing. I had a student, I guess last year before last, emailed me, and she said, thank you, Dr. Long. I get it. Because this is what I say to them in the class when I'm teaching policy, and in particular when I used to teach cultural diversity, because they will struggle with that content. Even though they're struggling with it, I'm not like, you gotta know this, okay? You really gotta know this. It's important that you honor people, culture, and their diversity and differences, because that's what makes the world. And so, when you are...
This is the last announcement, by the way. Okay. And not to cut you off, that may be something to touch on, do y'all teach, racial sensitivity in the program, so that there's not bias when they're out in the field.
But you have to put yourself way back here when you're in the field working people.
Dr. Morton, you can pull your mic a little closer to you.
He wants you to get a little up close and personal.
It picks up more louder and clear. That's why we spray the mics. Yes, it's fine. They're pretty. Those are sensitive.
And now back to community conversation.
Welcome back to Community Conversations. I hope you have been enjoying the conversation so far, and I hope you have learned a few things about the social work department at Arkansas State University, and learned a little bit more about the ASTATE Care program. We were talking off air, and I would love for Dr. Head and Dr. Larry to share some stories that they about previous students, that come back now they're working and they tell you about their life. And what are some things that your students tell you now?
For me, sometimes my students may email me and they say, Dr. was a guy. And this comes from, I teach social welfare policy, and I developed a course of cultural diversity on my campus for our social work department, because that's what my dissertation was on. And sometimes when you're teaching this content in the class, it requires the student to extend their boundaries. And it's really nice when it all comes together for them. But sometimes it don't totally come together until they are working and they're out in the field and they really, really begin to understand why the content was so important.
Okay.
As we try to teach and prepare our students to honor cultural diversity, sometimes that's difficult for students because it forces them to move beyond their comfort zone. But my message to them is that you cannot grow in your comfort zone.
Totally agree with that. Dr. Larry, you have anything to add to that?
Well, I've had students, I used to teach research,
Okay.
mostly research, and I've had students come back and say after taking my class they weren't afraid of research anymore and they felt like they could do research,
Okay.
which was really good. And I've taught human behavior for several years, and I've had students come to me and say that they didn't understand theory and that sort of thing until they took the class, and then with the theory they were better able to understand racial differences and ethnic differences, and so I think that I think we all get our share of students that come back, which is always really an honor.
That's wonderful. And I would say to anyone that's also considering this field, you have to have a passion for the people. You have to want a difference in someone's life. This is not a career to go into easily. You're going to be faced with different challenges every day, I'm sure. So can you please tell us a little bit about your early years, some of the challenges you may have faced, and then what kept you going and decided, okay, I still want to do this?
Well, my earliest challenge was working full-time while I was working on my master's degree, and I couldn't fit a field practicum into my curriculum. And finally I said, well, I'll do anything except I don't want to work with kids. I don't want to work with kids. And teenagers specifically. And so what ends up happening, they give me a practicum working with juveniles.
Oh, goodness.
And it was something I had never experienced before, and it just changed me. I remember one day I was waiting as they brought down 15 kids for me to do my assessment on them. They brought 15 kids down from the detention center, and there was one white kid out of all the 15.
Oh,
And I was like, we have got a big problem here. We have got a huge problem. And I wasn't sure how I was going to help exactly,
okay.
but I just knew that it was a problem and I had to do something. And that's what pushed me on getting my PhD and everything.
It's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for keeping going. I know you are a valuable asset to the social work in Arkansas State University. Okay, do you have anything, any personal, well, not too personal, but personal story to add?
One of my earlier experiences was with child welfare. And any social worker or anybody that works in child welfare will tell you that it is difficult,
Okay.
but it is much needed work because we have so many children that are in the child welfare system. And you really got to have a passion to really work very, very hard. Entry-level child welfare workers, my hat goes off to them because they have huge caseloads and they do very, very difficult work. We're trying to manage children and parents and keeping children in their home, making decisions on if the home is not safe enough and removing that child and still continuing to work with the parent to get the child back into the home. So being involved in child welfare early on, I think pushed me to develop skill set that really helped me later on in life.
Okay. Well, I would like to thank you all so much for being my guest today. I've learned so much. I hope that everyone out there listening and watching has learned a little bit more than they thought they knew about social work and what social workers really do. For those of you who are looking for something to do, you need a volunteer project, you can check out the ASTATE Care Program, which is located in located in the Magnolia Road Baptist Church, which is 911 Magnolia Road. They have a tutoring program on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 5, and that goes all the way up to December the 6th. They will always start a food pantry. We don't have an exact date on that just yet, but it will be on Fridays from 1 to 3 p.m. So please be on the lookout. KLEK will give you the updated information as it is available to us. I have been your host for today, Quabila Harden, and thank you so much to Dr. Pat Guy Walls and Dr. Larry Morton of the Social Work Department of Arkansas University. Tune in tomorrow, 9 a.m. for more community conversations. Enjoy your Wednesday. Thank you all so